we're going to talk about all of these shark attacks recently because they have been all over the place. All over the place. And not only have they been all over the place, it's not a singular thing that has happened. It's like boom, boom, boom. There have been two separate instances this year where three people were attacked from the same shark in the same instance. Twice. Once here in Florida and once in Texas. Um, both in the Gulf, but it went from it's been hot. It's definitely been hot. I think right now we got some thunderstorms rolling through, but the heat index here where I'm at in like Central Florida, the heat index was 112, I believe, is what it was. But let's see, Florida heat index. It's been bad. How do you know it's the same shark? Because it literally happened in the same attack. It was the same shark. Let's take a look at that real quick. Look at this crap. 110 down a little bit south. 117 in Venice. Oh my gosh. The feels like temperature is hotter than the feels like temperature in Vegas, even though it's 120 degrees there. I don't understand why sharks stop at biting people and not completely go after them. Because, well, and that's what we're going to talk about a little bit. So, the general rule of thumb with the shark situation is that, at least here in the United States, most of the shark attacks come from sharks that sounds like the month. Yeah, it kind of does sound like it, except that was, I think that was a bull shark and it swam up the river. But basically, and it wasn't instantaneously. So basically, the sharks that tend to attack people here in the U.S. Are smaller sharks, like bull sharks. I mean, smaller is relatively speaking. Sharks that are eating a lot more fish. They're not eating like big stuff like mammals, or they tend not to be. Bull sharks, black tips, sandbar sharks, sand tiger sharks. Those are fish eaters for the most part. So when one of those sharks bites somebody, they realize it's not exactly what they're looking for. And then you get into like great whites and tiger sharks, which will eat just about any. Well, tiger sharks will eat just about anything. Great whites tend to be like they have a specific thing that they go after depending on where they live. Um, but because they're so big, when they do just take an investigatory bite, it can be a lot worse. So I believe bull sharks are responsible for most of these instances. So like we'll look at the Florida instance. Florida shark attack. Let's see. If not at least 4 people were bitten in Texas. This was the New Smyrna one. 3 separate shark attacks reported in Florida in the last week. Okay, so this happened 2 hours ago that this story came out. So this might even be more. There might even be more than I expected. I don't know why they would show great white, because they weren't great whites. So New Smyrna Beach. At least 3 people have been bitten by sharks in separate attacks on Florida's beaches over the last week. Beach safety officials said a 14-year-old boy was the last victim on Monday. Officials said the teen was running in thigh-high deep water when he was bitten on the right calf by what is believed to be a blacktip. So yeah, a lot of these are like the sharks like blacktips, which are fish eaters primarily. So they're just going to do a quick little investigatory bite. It's still not a fun time. Last Friday, a 26-year-old man from Sarasota was bitten on his left foot while floating in an inner tube in water that was about 5 feet deep. And I could see the blood dripping out of his foot. Really hit like, oh, it was a legit bite. This bite came almost 24 hours after a 21-year-old from Ohio was bitten at New Smyrna Beach while playing football in knee-deep water Thursday afternoon, according to Volusia County Beach Safety in the Ocean. Neither man's injuries were life-threatening. So there's 2 more attacks I didn't even know about. White sharks want seals and sea lions. High fat contact. Yeah, exactly. Well, usually it just depends on where they live. The ones that live out like that go up the Atlantic coast and then spend some time here in the Gulf, they're mostly eating fish. They're not really eating seals, but for the most part, the ones that eat seals, those are the ones that like go after surfers and stuff like that. So that's where that tends to come from. Um, Still, even with the recent shark bites in Florida and in Texas, they are considered rare, according to the University of Florida. You have a 1 in 11.5 million odds of being bit by a shark. Here are some expert tips gathered. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is just talking about um, avoid areas with fishing. I was fishing at the beach the other day. I was. Avoid dusk and dawn. Hang with lifeguard or okay, don't be wear shiny objects, follow your instincts, don't panic, maintain eye contact, just stare at the shark. What part of the world are you shooting for? Yes, that's right. Saget Master is right. I am in Florida. You know, the coolest state. Sorry, Saget. Where are you viewing from? So I didn't even know about these extra two attacks that happen. That's brand new news to me. So last year there were 36 attacks in the United States. And a month ago I was like, we're not even near on track to hit 36. And now there's been, I mean, we're close to 20 attacks now. And at the rate we're going now, mm, see, do they have any statistics on, let's see. Let's see, yearly shark attack summary. Let's see if they have anything for this year. So total cases, unprovoked bites were 69 last year. Agree to disagree on that, DNA. I live in the coolest state. What, Alaska? I'm feeling from Italy, almost 10 p.m. here. Italy? Nice. I'd like to go to Europe at some point. And no sharks here. There are sharks in Italy. I don't know who told you there's no sharks in Italy. There are definitely sharks in Italy. Sharks in Italy. Italy is surrounded by water. There we go. Are there shark? There's plenty of sharks in the Mediterranean. List of sharks in Italy. Basking sharks, big-eyed threshers, common threshers, poor beagles, sandbar sharks, shortfin makos, smooth hammerhead, and spiny dogfish. There are sharks in Italy. Don't be fooled. Yeah, I mean no big. Yeah, there are. Basking shark, 20 to 30 feet, 23 to 30 feet. I'll give you that. They're not going to attack you. Big-eyed threshers up to 16 feet, common threshers up to 18 feet, poor beagles, which is related to great whites, 12 feet, sandbar sharks 8.5 feet, school shark, don't know what that is, short makos, makos are aggressive, almost 10 feet, hammerheads, you're right, you really don't really need to worry about them, spiny dogfish, that's probably what you're thinking of, but say that there's no sharks there that aren't aggressive. They're definitely you can still be attacked by these sharks. Not that you have to worry about it. Yeah, it's not common. It's not really a thing to worry about. But I get what you mean. Switzerland here, only financial business sharks here. Yeah, who? I was gonna make a joke about the Swiss being, what is it? They're going to be Switzerland. What's up, DNA? Congratulations on becoming a father. Thank you. Second time becoming a father. Second time becoming a father, and it's been amazing. And yes, a lot of Europeans here. Sorry, I don't know what kilometers per hour is. Um, oh God, man, Rod is here instantly with the disgusting jokes. Chill out, Rod. I don't mind you being here, but chill out with the grossness. or I'm going to ban you, boy. But anyway, continuing with this train of thought on these attacks, provoked means that you got in the way on purpose or you were messing with them or something like that. Like it wasn't because the shark was just doing its thing, you mess with it. Yeah, everyone's doing well. It's just we've gotten a bit of a system down. Um, I usually sleep throughout the night for the most part. The baby's really good. The baby's very good. I usually sleep throughout the night, and then I can't sleep during the day. Like I can't take naps. I don't do well. So I'll wake up in the morning and get the baby, and then my wife will sleep for however many hours. She'll get her rest in, and then while I take care of the baby in the morning, and that tends to be the case. And then I go out and do what I need to do during the day. So it's been finding that, you know, in between time to get stuff done, and I am working on that. And also, like, I would like to, and I got a little mat in here. I'd like to get into, like, say, for instance, last night I went herping. I got this guy and a couple others. This is a blue garter snake. Let me get him out real quick, maybe. He was a little bitey earlier, so I might not get him out at the moment because their bites are not fun. But I got a Florida blue garter snake right here. I'm a dad and she is 18 years old. Oh God, that's gross. But congratulations, Rod. Um, so figuring out that the schedule and everything was the biggest part, but things have been good. It's been very busy, which has been nice. At the same time, it's just like I need to get back into streaming. I need to get back into making my videos normally. So like that's what I'm currently trying to get on track for. And then also like as much as I'd like to stream when I'm herping, like I was before, I gotta work on like I gotta balance a couple things. A lot of the areas I'm going to right now don't have much in terms of service. So I'm going to try to do regular videos on that in the meantime and then stream during the day. That's the goal. But though that being said, thank you guys seriously for watching and being supportive through all this. It means a lot. And again, get back to the regularly scheduled program. So, 2023 at a glance. Worldwide, there were 69 nice attacks that were unprovoked, and 10 of them were fatal. And the U.S. had 36, which leads the world in unprovoked attacks. In Florida, Florida had 16 of those, so Florida was the number one state for shark attacks. So that meaning Florida was the number one place in the world to get attacked by a shark. Who'd have thought? So with all of that being said, that was last year. So 36 unprovoked attacks in the United States. I'm just going by the United States at the moment because these are where most of these shark attacks are happening right now. U.S. shark attacks total 2024. I want to see how many are going on. Like, see, here's the 2024. Ooh, a tracking map. Let's see. What? As of July 8th, as of today, there have been 32 shark attack bites in 2024. Is that all over the... Oh, that's also including other countries. Okay, here is the... Ooh, every time I see an unprovoked attack in Florida, I have to check to see if it's New Smyrna Beach. New Smyrna gets a lot of them, and it's because there's a few reasons for it, but it mostly has to do with... I'll pull that up here. So you can see right here, this is New Smyrna Beach right here. So there have been 3 in New Smyrna this year so far. So you see, basically what happens is that these sharks that are traveling south down the coast, it starts to jut out until you get like Cape Canaveral, and so they really kind of like meet. It's like where they have to start going back out into the ocean a little bit to travel along the beach, and they and there's a lot of people there. It's near Daytona Beach. Um, during the what is it called? The Mullet Run. During the Mullet Run, there's a lot of people that are in the water while these mullet are swimming up and down the beach, and the sharks are eating them. Mostly black tips, but bull sharks and all that will happen as well. Let's see, what is this? Fernandina Beach. Caught shark when it grabbed his arm. Oh, so this is also talking about shark bites that were provoked as well. So green would be provoked, I'm assuming. So these are the 3 that happened. So these 2 happened at the same time. The shark swam up the beach and happened right here. That was in the news not too long ago. And then so one off of Galveston on 528, 19-year-old. I think that was that. I covered that one. And then South Padre, almost in Mexico. There were 4 bite 4. 7-4, 7-4, 7-4, 7. Really? Okay, so there were 4 of them on the same day, not 3. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, bunch of fatal in Mexico. 2 in the Bahamas. That's not good. South San Diego, 46-year-old man, great white. A fatal one off of. Oh, that was last year. So, at least there's this map here. Do they have a YouTube video? Oh. Okay. So, anyways, each year there are about 100 reported shark attacks worldwide. Most of the instances are considered minor, and patients tend to recover rapidly. South Padre, Texas, 2 days ago. Yeah, it was on the 4th. It was on the 4th. There were 4 attacks on the 4th of July in South Padre. I have 5 of them in one day. Nice. That sounds like an issue, my guy. So, anyway, if we take out Australia, 8 attack bites have been reported in 2024. 1 provoked and 0 fatal. So if we count this up, so 32 minus. So there have been 19 shark attack bites in the U.S. in 2024. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. So there have been 19 in the U.S. At this rate, I would say it's all packed. It's all happened so quickly, though. That's the thing. This has happened very quickly. Enough, Rod. Five minutes, bro. Chill out. So, oh my gosh. Thanks, Rod. Now my train of thought's all screwed up because your degeneracy, bro. Again, I don't mind you here, but Jesus Christ. In Hawaii with the tiger shark fatalities. Wait, has there been a tiger shark fatality in Hawaii? I heard that there was a great white. Oh, we got 2. Let's see. Jason Carter. Oh, that was last year. Yeah, Tamayo Perry, who was the surfer, the professional surfer, and he was an actor and everything like that. That's who I remember. I remember covering that. So 19 attacks. I don't know if there's a way for me to figure out by last year track shark prevention contact. I don't know if there's a way to track it, but what we're on track for. So there's been a lot. What's the exact reason? I'm not sure. Let's see what some of these people are saying. I think some people are saying it has to do with the warmer weather. The water's warmer, but I don't know. According to the 2024 shark attack map, there have been 26 shark attack bites this year. 8 of those being considered provoked, while 1 has been fatal. Warningly, the U.S., however, 50% of that total number have come to the American shores, with many coming in the last few months. Evan Garcia, San Clemente, California, was surfing 15 miles southeast of Laguna Beach when a 6-foot shark sunk its teeth into his board. Garcia, 25, was surfing around 7:45 and was knocked off his board into the water and came face to face with the animal. He thinks it was a 4 to 6 foot juvenile great white, which he says are sighted off our local coast all the time. Damiana Humphrey, 19, was in waist deep water with her sisters when she was bitten by a shark in Galveston, Texas, around 50 miles south of Houston. The teen from Oklahoma recalled that something suddenly grabbed her hand after her sister in law unexpectedly saw something tan moving in the water. Lady and husband were snorkeling last year in Hawaii. He saw a large tiger shark and returned to the beach. He never returned at all. Jesus. Issues with our global magnetic field. I don't know. I don't think that has anything to do with it. Why would that have anything to? Why would the magnetic field have anything to do with the shark attacks? Is there some indication of that? Does the Earth's magnetic field have anything to do with shark attacks? Let's see this. Shark attacks, phases of the moon, and electric. Let's see. On the third February, display fatal shark attack. Of course, in December, and we're not hypothesizing that more light from the moon leads to shark attacks. But while we can't describe what the mechanism may be, we can say, let's continue to look at the moon. One potential cause is tides. As the Earth rotates, gravity causes our planet's oceans to swell in the areas closest and furthest from the nearest celestial body, the moon. While the authors recognize that tides are an obvious connection between the moon and marine ecosystems, the phenomenon is not at the top of their list of potential culprits. Tides have unique and variable effects that from place to place, so it is unlikely that they would affect shark behavior in a uniform way around the world. Come on, YouTube, it's a live stream, no ads. On the other hand, Midway is a little bit more intrigued by electromagnetic fields. Just last year, research at Florida State University showed that sharks use the Earth's electromagnetic fields to stay oriented during long migrations. Essentially, sharks have an internal compass because the Earth's electromagnetic field is also affected by the moon. Midway and French call for further investigation on how electromagnetic shifts alter sharks' behavior. For now, the link between... Okay, so it's just something that they threw out there. That, let's see, sharks are known to go precise long distance migration. Okay, but that has nothing to do with. That's one group hypothesizing that it might alter something. Effects on marine species. Magnetic barriers could save sharks. Nothing to do with them attacking people, though. bonefish species, turtles. Okay. The report summarizes the result of a top-level literature survey. A little rabbit hole. Maybe think about it. Maybe think about it. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm looking at. This because so far I'm not seeing anything besides somebody saying that maybe that might have an effect, but no one. I've never seen anything concrete on that. This report summarizes the results of a top level literature survey on the topic of the electromagnetic effects on marine biota. The primary driver for this survey was to determine the basic state of knowledge on the topic of potential biological effects that EM fields may have on marine species, and then apply the knowledge to identifying EMF sensing requirements. In particular, specific knowledge was sought on species sensitivity to field strength of electric or magnetic fields on a frequency range of blah 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 blah. Observed to be affected of varying degrees of magnetic fields, not just electric fields. Magnetic sensing requirements appear to be driven by eels, which the literature reports as having sensitivities to magnetic fields. In order, some benthic species have been shown to be affected by stronger magnetic fields, although there has been little research reported on the subject of certain species native to the Pacific Northwest, including the Dungeness crab. Okay, so this has nothing to do with shark attacks. There have always been shark attacks, provoked and unprovoked, throughout history. Thanks to social media and other news outlets, everything circulates so much faster and hence the hysteria. I agree with you. That's where I pretty much tend to sit. Like, this is something that's been happening. Well, let's go back to say, let's see. Shark attacks. Let's go back to 2010. Yeah. Well, let's go back to the yearly shark attack summary. Hey Kiki, how you doing? Can I? Does it show more than just 2023 though? Yearly worldwide shark attack summary. You know, it's species. Shark attack trends. Let's see this. Location with the highest shark attack frequency rates, attacks and fatalities, beach attendance trends by decade. There we go. Use these data with caution, or use these data with caution. Remembering the scientific and media coverage of shark attacks during the early part of the century was far less inclusive than that today. The apparent drop in numbers of shark attacks in the 70s and 80s is in part reflective of the largely inactive state of ISAF during those decades. Okay. Unprovoked shark attacks worldwide during the past century. Okay, so from 2010 to 2019, there were 803. Okay, so this is just building up right now. From 2000 to 2009, 1990 to 1999. So from this, again, basically from all this back, we can chalk a lot of this up to the fact that not as many people were going to the beach and in the water like we are now. Possibly. But since people have really started going and getting in the water, there are a lot more shark attacks. And really, it's hard to use this data back here, basically. It's just not really kept track of. But you would think that even if it's not kept track of that much, at least in comparison to what it is today, like how much we how much we keep record of things now, if we take that into account and realize that back here there probably were more attacks, we just didn't keep records of them. Even since we've really started keeping records, I mean, this isn't a short time period, you know? From the 90s to today, shark attacks have been going up. Even though the levels of sharks in the oceans has been going down. I mean, that's kind of damning in a way, if you really think about it. I mean, this, of course, each one of these is the course of a 10-year period. So over the course of 10 years between 1990 and 99, there were 500 attacks over the 10-year course. So 500, so that would be what? 75? Am I doing that math right? So if we did, I'm going to take out my calculator on my phone because I'm bad at math on top of my head. So we have 500 divided by 10. Oh, duh. That'd be 50 attacks a year. Okay? 661 divided by 10 would be 66 attacks. So that would be 88 attacks per year so 803 divided by 10 would be 80. Oh, yeah. From 2020 to 2021, that's not including last year, the year before. Like that's only 126 is in a 2-year period. So it'll be kind of hard to tell until things really get put back, like until the data gets filled in. But it seems to me like frequency of attacks are going up. At least we're documenting more of them. Is it because more people are getting in the water? So let's see. Let's see. Numbers of people going to the beach worldwide trend. 2025 people flock to the beach over the next 19. Okay, beach tourism. Let's see. Percentage of total population living in coastal area. I mean, you got to think too. A lot of this, if Florida, okay, well, I'll go and do this. In Florida, how many? Florida is the shark attack capital of the world. Okay, so there were 16 attacks last year in Florida alone. So if we think about the amount of people moving to the state, and then we think about the amount of tourists that come to Florida alone. So, tourism by year, Florida. Let's see. Estimates indicate domestic travel to Florida was up 1.1% in 2023 compared to 2022, and by 10.2% compared to 2019, with 121 million domestic visits to Florida. Different white sharks feed on different species of prey depending on what the areas are from. Exactly, yeah. So the amount of people visiting the state tourist-wise has increased over the past however many years, even very recently. And let's see. Tourism, Florida, 2000. Let's see if we can get this. Record 106 million people visited Florida. 106.3 million tourists as compared to 91 out of. Okay, here we go. Total visitors to Florida by domestic overseas 2000 to 2015. So the numbers of tourism in Florida alone has gone up by, what is it? 50, 60 million, depending on how you look. Okay, no, about 40 million, something like that. More people in the water and hopefully improve shark populations for conservation. Mishaps will happen more often. I think that's mostly to do with it because there's multiple things that are happening here. A, the population of Florida is increasing drastically. There are, what, 23 million people here in the state, and I'm only going by Florida at the moment because Florida is becoming the shark bite capital of the world. There are more shark attacks here than anywhere else, and we're hearing about it more. Texas, it's happening too, but that's close enough to the Gulf Coast. Like, people are going and visiting those waters. Tourism is up. More people are living here, Texas and Florida. More people are living in both of those states. And the conservation in Florida alone has drastically improved the shark populations. So, shark population Florida. So, this is something I saw, and I've covered this a little bit. The latest scientific findings reveal that global shark populations are on the decline despite the protective arm of government efforts. Florida appears to be an exception. The recent study, published in a peer-reviewed journal Science, looked in depth at the effects of the world's fisheries and overexploitation of sharks. Over the past 20 years, the steep decrease in sharks was subject to severe scrutiny and, as a result, led nations worldwide to enact regulations and fishing bans in an effort to save the nearly 500 species of sharks worldwide. However, these steps have led to a surprisingly undesired result, with total fishing mortality increasing from at least 76 to 80 million sharks between 2012 and 2019, 25 million of which were threatened species, according to the study. Despite this, Florida's efforts and commitment to regulating and protecting shark species is starting to pay off. Florida employs several different mandates to curb the number of sharks being fished. According to the FWC, some of these mandates include limiting the harvesting of sharks to one person per day and two per vessel, requiring different permits, including ones for selling and purchasing sharks, allowing only the use of rod and reel, and listing 25 shark species as prohibited from all harvest, possession, landing, purchase, sale, or exchange. While it is difficult to quantify shark populations, locals and experts are seeing a rebound. So, Florida is doing a really good job in helping increase the shark population. More people than ever are visiting the state. And Texas and Florida, which a lot of these attacks are also happening in Texas. So I think that has something to do with it. More people are visiting the water. The sharks are rebounding in a lot of these places. And that mixture, more people, more sharks, more attacks. You just have a better odds of it happening. So people, a Cape Crusader. So more people have this idea in their head that these shark attacks are increasing. And technically, it seems they are. But that's kind of a good thing. So we blast people for overfishing. You tried putting the live in general on. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's where I'm sitting. I know we have to sit here and like deep dive into it a little bit, and that's kind of, it should be very cut and dry. But just putting all those facts together, that seems to be the case. And I think that's just part of having to live amongst them. People will freak out. People will not like it. And I say tough shit. We have to live alongside these things, just as you have to live alongside bears or whatever else you're. I mean, it's not. The world is not a safe place. If you get in the water, the chances of something happening are there. It doesn't mean I'm happy that people get hurt, but like, that's just the way it is. That's what we're gonna have to deal with as a society. I hate that term. I hate it when people are. That's the way the society. I go on a rant about that. I keep on hearing that word in this society. In this society, the world is not a black and white place. It's gray. Um. Anyway, so I see it as a good thing. Not that people are being attacked, but that means that conservation to a degree is working, at least in certain areas. That also goes to kind of that plays into what I see as a trend around the world for a lot of things. Not it's not just the United States, but the United States does a very good job of a lot of these things that people people get upset about. So like global warming, climate change, whatever. The things that people want everyone to worry about. The United States does a very good job at a lot of those things. We're like the lead on a lot of it. Doesn't mean that other places don't do a good job, but conservation, the United States is top dog for the most part. For the most part, the United States, once they want to protect something, will make sure it comes back. Go to other places, and they could care less. So, there's things to criticize the United States for, of course, but this is a great example. Florida. I know I'm going to toot Florida's horn again. Florida, at least when with a lot of the conservation efforts, has done a very good job of bringing back certain species from the brink. I mean, it's happened over and over again. Look at manatees. Look at Goliath grouper. Like Goliath alligators. American crocodiles. You look at all these species back in like the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Even the Florida panther. Florida panther is having a bit of a more difficult time because of all the development happening here, and that's where Florida is failing. Florida panther needs a lot of space. It's not as cut and dry as something in the water where we're like, we got to protect our water. You know why we have to protect the water? Because that's why a lot of people want to come here. It's easy to protect the water. Something on land that needs a lot of space, there's a ton of lakes, there's a ton of brackish water, estuaries, and everything for alligators and crocodiles to live in. That's not difficult. But all the continuous land a Florida panther needs to survive, well, we got to put a townhouse right there. Sorry. There has to be another storage facility right there. Goliath groupers are strange looking. I've caught a big one before. Well, I was on the boat when it was caught, I should say. I'll pull up this picture real quick. I think you guys would like to see this. But it's just one of those things where overall, let's see. Australia has a couple of fatalities due to saltwater crocodiles or sharks and immediately jumps to start the coal program. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to look into real quick because I noticed that. I noticed that very recently. Let's see, I gotta find this picture for you guys real quick. Speaking of Goliath grouper. Almost there we go. See that? Is that coming in on the screen pretty good? That is me swimming with a Goliath grouper in 200 feet of water. Let me see if I can get this. Maybe it's coming in for you. Yeah. Anyway.